This video will discuss the case of Kenman Kandy Australia Proprietary Limited and the Registrar of Trademarks. Kenman Kandy was a confectionery company and they sold this lolly called the Millennial Bug. These lollies were in the shape of a stylized six-legged creature that sort of resembled a bug. The company wanted to protect the shape, so they sought to obtain trademark registration in 1999. Their application was rejected, however, by a delegate of the registrar who held the shape was not registerable. On appeal to a single judge of the federal court, Justice Wilcox agreed with the delegate. This case was then appealed to the full Federal Court of Australia. Quickly going over the criteria for registration. To be registered, a sign must be capable of distinguishing the applicant's goods or services from those dealt with or provided by other persons. Now, this can be proven in two ways. One, if the sign is inherently adapted to distinguish the goods or service, or two, through showing that a mark does distinguish the applicant's product due to the extent of its use. It's important to note that in Kenman's application, they relied solely on the first method. So, what does inherently adapted to distinguish mean? Well, a sign will not be inherently adapted to distinguish a product if it would ordinarily be used to indicate the kind, quality, intended purpose, value, or geographical origin of a product. However, trademarks can distinguish due to their inherent characteristics. Now, this is tested by deciding whether other traders acting with proper motives think of the shape and want to use it in connection with their goods in a way that is likely to infringe a trademark. If yes, then it won't be inherently adapted to distinguish, as it will fall within the commons available for all to use. Now, in the full federal court, the appeal was allowed and registration of Kenman's shape was ordered. It was a 2-1 majority formed by Justice French and Justice Stone. Both agreed that the registration would not give Kenman a monopoly over bug-shaped lollies, only shapes that were substantially identical or deceptively similar to millennial bugs. Justice Stone did not think that the shape would be considered a part of the commons. Although it was recognizable as a bug, he argued that without the description, it could easily be seen as some other kind of extraterrestrial object. The shape itself had no function, and therefore for registration would not unfairly limit any other traders who might want to use an insect or a bug shape. Justice French agreed with Justice Stone in his reasoning, and also dismissed arguments by the trial judge that there is a finite number of possible bug shapes and that this might affect whether it would be inherently adapted to distinguish. Now let's discuss the implication of this decision. The judgment was thought to relax standards required to register shapes based on factual distinctiveness. However, since this case, companies such as Guylands and Ferrero have been unsuccessful registering trademarks for their shapes of their products. However, some companies have been successful, for example, the trademark of the Toblerone chocolates. So Kenman is a good authority for registering 3D shapes, but it's limited to its particular set of facts. Therefore, registration of trademarks of shapes based on inherent distinctiveness still needs to be assessed on the individual merits of each case. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learn a little about this case.